I am talking to all you service members out there, all you military service members. Could you become a millionaire just using BAH, your basic allowance for housing? Is that possible? I say yes, and I'm going to show you how, and I'm even going to give you the age range that it would take you to do it in. Okay? Welcome to Jerome in Real Estate. I'm Jerome, your local realtor here in the Fountain and Colorado Springs area. Let's get to it. So today, I am going to explain how it might be possible for you to be a millionaire using BAH as a military service member. Okay, and this strategy, it should work if you don't screw it up like most of us did that were in the military, right? And you'll see what I'm talking about as I go through this strategy. It is basically using pretty much the greatest tool that the U.S. ever gave to its military service members, and that is the VA home loan. So what is BAH? BAH is Basic Allowance for Housing. If you're in the military, you already know what that is, okay? A lot of people take that BAH and they live on post, okay? Because, they're married, they've got dependents, they don't want to go through the problems of finding a home, looking through neighborhoods, and, they think that it's a hassle to try to get a home themselves. So they stay on post, they give that money to the military housing office, and they think that all their problems are gone because, everything's taken care of. But what if you found a home off post? What if you used the VA loan to get a 0% down loan, and you use that to purchase a house? Okay, what would happen? So I'm going to give you one scenario and I'm going to walk you all the way through it. Okay, so I'm going to go with today's E5, right? The Sergeant. Let's just go with that. The current 2022 BAH for an E5 with dependent is $2,052, right? So I'm just going to make things extremely simple, and I'm going to say, let's say he went off post, that person went off post, bought a home using the VA loan, was able to get 0 down, okay? So he's not coming out extra. And let's just say that the full $2,052 this person had to use for the mortgage, right? So all of it is gone, $2,052 every single month, okay? So let's say that home was $400,000, okay? That's the loan amount, and that's also the value of the property at the time that it was bought, right? At the very least, I can say that this soldier, this military service member, now controls an asset that's worth $400,000. At the very least, you can say that, okay? You control an asset worth $400,000. What did you pay out of pocket for that? Well, we already said that the VA loan got you 0 down, right? So you didn't pay anything right up front, and you're using BAH, your $2,052 every month to pay down the mortgage. So that's earmarked for housing anyway, right? So you're not really paying anything extra. Understand? All right. So what does that mean if you stayed on post? Let's compare that to staying on post, right? In one scenario, you control a $400,000 asset. In the other scenario, when you're on post, yes, you're using that same BAH money for your housing, $2,052 every month, and you don't have to worry about anything, right? But you do not control an asset worth $400,000. You don't control anything. You're just living in a space, okay? All right. So let's keep on going with the, you just bought a house using the VA loan scenario. After time, even if there's no appreciation on that property, even if the value does not rise, okay, we'll start off with that. After 4 years of paying down the mortgage, right, you've knocked off probably around $30,000 off the loan, right? So the loan is now right around $370,000, okay? And that means that the value of the property stayed $400,000 and the loan is now at $370,000. So the difference there is your equity, which is $30,000, okay? So right there, you've got $30,000 just free. All right, we've already established that since you didn't put anything down and BAH is supposed to go to housing anyway, that you're not putting in extra money. So that $30,000 that you have in equity is basically just free money. All right. Now we all know that homes appreciate. Historically speaking, since anyone's been tracking appreciation, home values have appreciated in the United States, right? The average appreciation annually of homes in the United States fluctuates, but it's somewhere around 4%, maybe just a touch less, but we'll stick with 4%. All right. So now we'll bring in appreciation into this mix. Let's say we're still at the same $400,000 property. All right. But now you've held it 4 years. You've been paying down the mortgage with BAH. What is that home worth, right? If $400,000 actually appreciated 4% every year, well, now you're at $468,000, okay? And you've been paying down the mortgage, right, using BAH for those 4 years. So the loan is still only at $370,000. So now you've got $468,000 minus $370,000 to get your equity, and your equity is $98,000. Okay, and that's minimal home appreciation right there. Almost $100,000, 4 years. Okay. Now I'm going to throw something in that you should be thinking about, and I know most of you are, because when I said, well, the average appreciation for homes is 4%. Some of you probably said, well, oh my God, that's ridiculous because, I'm in Colorado Springs, where appreciation was way, way up. The average appreciation for Colorado Springs and Fountain, it's been, like last year, it's been right around like 20%. 20%. Right? So I'm going to spare you some of the mathematics, and I'm going to let you know that in those 4 years, let's say you bought a home for $400,000, right? And you did what you had to do. You kept on paying the mortgage. You kept everything up. And miraculously, we stayed at 20% home appreciation for the full 4 years that you held it. That home would be worth $829,000, roughly. $829,000, right? Your loan is still at $370,000 because all you've been doing is paying normal, right? Like we said, $2,052 every single month. So you take the difference to get your equity, and you are now at $459,000. That's in that perfect scenario where we stay at 20% for 4 years. That's in that perfect scenario. But hey, it's $459,000 in the highest of the highest scenarios, and in just your average run-of-the-mill appreciation scenario, you're at almost $100,000. So either way, you're up. Now let me tell you what would have happened if you don't go off post and get a property using the VA loan. What happens is you pay your $2,052 every month for 4 years until you PCS, and you've basically given the military housing authority about $98,496. So roughly $100,000. So here we are again. We've got one scenario where you purchase a home using the VA loan, right? And in an average scenario, on that, you control and you get equity of about $100,000. In the other scenario, you stay on post and you give the military housing authority $100,000, right? How crazy is that? How else would we be able to get, I don't know, $100,000 of value in the military? What other ways are there? Well, the first thing that comes to mind is re-enlisting. If you're certain MOS, if you're one of those star MOSs and the military really needs you, you've seen them, right? Where they give re-enlistment bonuses, 50,000, 100,000. I've seen actually more, but yeah, you sign away another 4, 5, 6 years of your life, and you get back in return. Could be upwards of $100,000, right? And here it is. The military is also once again giving you money through this option of owning a home, and a lot of people don't even want to take it, right? But here's where it gets really interesting, and here's where I'm going to answer the question of, can you become a millionaire just using BAH, right? Let's say, you didn't buy this house till you were 22, right? So you came in, you were 18 years old, right? The first 4 years, you're just messing around, you're just learning how to be in the military, right? So now you're 22 years old. At 22 years old, you decide, you know what? It's time. I'm married. I want to start a family. I'm gonna live off post. I'm gonna get this house. I'm gonna use the VA loan, right? So at 22 is when you decide, okay, I'm gonna buy this house, right? So in our scenario, you buy the house, $400,000. You keep it for 4 years, right? And you're just doing normal stuff. You're just paying your bills. You're paying your mortgage. The home's appreciated to $468,000, right? Now, instead of selling the home when it's time to PCS, let's suppose you hung on to it, right? You've got $100,000 in equity in that home. Now you're PCSing, you decide to hang on to it, and I don't know, you go to whatever state you're going to next, and now you're more established. You're 26 now, mind you, right? You're more established, you've got a bigger family maybe, you've got more funding, and you're going to use the VA loan again. And if you want to know how to use that simultaneously, right, instead of selling and then trying to use it afterwards, back to back, you can use it simultaneously. I'll link something to an interview I did with Zach Tarbett about how that's possible and why some people don't really understand how they can use the VA loan, right? But yeah, so now you're 26, you're getting another property, right? You're going to rent the first one out, and then you're going to get another property. Since you're more established, you need more space, it's probably going to cost a little bit more. Let's say you buy a home now that's $500,000, right? So now you control one property as an investment property, and it's worth $468,000. And you're buying one now, you're about to control another one that's worth $500,000, right? Right off the bat, that means you control, very close to $1 million worth of property already, and you're 26, okay? So we're going to expand that a little bit further. You own 2 homes, right? Currently your BAH is paying. You don't have to you don't have to say that you're going to stay in the military forever, but let's just say that you did stay in the military, as long as you wanted to, right? And you decided to hold on to both of these homes, and let's just say that you didn't do anything else. You didn't buy another home. You didn't want to expand. None of that. You just stuck with these two homes for another 30 years, right? I chose 30 years because that's usually how long the term of a mortgage runs, right? Usually we do 30-year mortgages, right? So I'm choosing 30 years for that. At the end of those 30 years, you'll be 56, okay? And if you didn't do anything different except just pay your bills, those two homes would be paid off, right? And we're also going to assume that by some strange, ridiculous factor, there was zero appreciation for those entire 30 years. Zero appreciation. Now you've got two paid off homes that are worth right around $1 million. Okay? But let's actually put in that there was appreciation, which, once again, historically speaking, there always is. There always was. Okay? Let's say there was appreciation at the normal 4%, right? Just average run-of-the-mill appreciation. And once again, we're going to say that you didn't do anything else. You didn't buy any more property. You didn't do anything fantastic, right? All you did was you bought one home at the age of 22. You bought another one at the age of 26, and you're just paying them off now, and you're watching it appreciate at 4%. What you're going to end up with at the end of those 30 years are two homes that have locked in value of approximately $3 million. That's where you would end up being at. And that's saying that you didn't do anything else. You didn't want to go faster by buying more homes. You didn't want to do any of that. You just wanted to be average, run-of-the-mill. Used BAH for the entire time, right? Isn't that something? Isn't that something? In my mind, you're a millionaire, right? If you got $3 million locked away, that's millionaire status. That's as simple as it gets, okay? So hopefully that answers some questions. Hopefully you'll start to think about implementing some of these strategies that I'm talking about. If you like the information that I'm putting out, if you want to understand a little bit more and how you can actually get into this, please reach out, give me a like, give me a subscribe. Don't miss any of these videos. All right. Thanks for watching.